Chalamala Venkateshwarlu, who is the convener of this very important and significant seminar, Mr. Krishna Kumar, Professor Krishna Kumar, Head Department of Political Science, and my good friend, Jajula Srinivas Gaud, and many of them who are there on the stage. I know them all for the last so many years. I'm happy that I've been invited for this seminar. I was a student of this college in 1968. I did my BA here. And I have very fond memories. I have learned English speaking in this room. I used to meet this room every day, room number 57. Then I became a lecturer at a very young age, in 1975. From 1975 to 85, I was in Osmania University. Then I went abroad all over the world and came back to Osmania in 1995. And then I held very important position. I have very good memories of this college. Today, I'm in a position to speak here only because of Osmania University. I came here when I was 16-year-old to do my BA here. So I'm happy that several issues have been raised. This is an important seminar. I will only speak in English because that is the language I think which is very, very important. English is a stupid language, but we have to master that language. It's very, very easy to learn that language. I think when we speak in seminars of this nature, because it's talking about several kinds of issues, it's talking about social justice, it's talking about policies, it is talking about reservations, we need to understand the context of India. What is the context of India? There is no country in the world which is as complex as India. India's population is a huge population now, 1,500 million population. We have overtaken China. India is the only country in the world which is multilingual, multi-religious. There is no caste anywhere in the world except India. Caste is a reality in India. There are about 5,000 castes in India. Among the backward class alone, we have got closer to about 140 castes. And several of them mentioned that caste census was carried out in 1931. After that, we don't have the data. On the basis of that data, Mandal Commission decided that 27% should be given. The Kaka Kalekar Commission mentions that the backward class population is 52% at that point of time. There is a whole lot of conspiracy in this country. When we look at the preamble of the Indian Constitution talks about, very, very important for us to quote what the preamble of the Constitution talks about. The preamble of the Constitution talks about we, the people of India. It did not say, Dr. Ambedkar is a great visionary, outstanding scholar. I went to London School of Economics. There's only one statue, that is of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as you enter London School of Economics. That is the contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He gave us one of the finest constitutions anyone can have anywhere in the world. We, the people of India, he further says, justice, social, economic, and political. I don't want to quote. He talked about liberty, he talked about equality, he talked about fraternity in the Constitution. Social justice, economic justice, and political justice. And then when we look at various attempts have been made in this country to carry out various kinds of surveys. Socio-economic survey was carried out in this country almost about 30 years ago. That data is not out. And then the government of Telangana has also carried out a survey recently, about a year ago. I was very, very actively involved in that survey and preparing the questionnaire, etc., etc. That data is also not available right now. And however, the government went about taking a decision for the economically weaker sections. I'm a professor, I only quote the Constitution. I'm exactly quoting what is there in the Constitution. The Constitution, Article 38 and 39 of the Constitution mandate reduction of inequalities in income, equal access to all opportunities, resources of the country. My dear young friends, a lot of students are here. This is not my interpretation. I'm quoting what is there in the Indian Constitution, both Article 38 and 39. Article 39B clearly says, the ownership and control of material resources of the community are so distributed to the best subservice of the common good. The Constitution says all the resources of this country have to be distributed equally. Only then equity will come about. That is what the Constitution says. Article 39C says that the operation of economic system does not result in the concentration of wealth and means of production to the common detriment. In other words, you are assessing resources, education, budget allocation, everything should be equally distributed. This is what the Constitution says. But what's happening in this country? The Constitution very clearly says, reservation should be based only on social, educational backwardness. Economic criteria is not there in the Indian Constitution. The Constitution very clearly defines only when there is a social backwardness and educational backwardness, they are considered backward, whether scheduled caste or scheduled tribe are particularly the backward classes. But however, as Judge very clearly mentioned, the Constitution, that is the Supreme Court, completely violated the Indian Constitution by giving reservation of 10% of the population economically weaker sections. And if we take Telangana into consideration, Telangana does not have 10% of the upper caste population. Reddy population is 4% population. Velama population is 0.4% population. Not even 1% of the population are Velamas, but then they are ruling us. So when you're talking about backward classes, there are OBCs, they are most backward, extremely backward, and denotified tribes. Nomadic tribes are also there in the backward classes. According to my data, about 8% of the population are nomadic tribes. We do not know where they live, where they exist. Then tomorrow they go somewhere else. They're all nomadic tribes. Look at the backwardness of these castes. Then every time, when you talk about, they say, well, Indira Savani judgment has said, 50% should not be exceeded. How did we go about giving that 10% reservation of 60%? How that, Indira Savani judgment, is ultimate. It was only a 9-bench judgment. It can go to a 12-bench judgment and go about deciding. So we need to understand. We're all students of political science. We need to understand, how the Constitution should operate. If there's a single judge judgment, it will go to a division bench, that is 2-bench judgment. Then, if necessary, it will go to a 6-bench, 9-bench, and a 12-bench. We are not talking about, all of us are using the word reservation. I don't want to use the word reservation, I want to use the word representation. We are a representative democracy. We are a representative democracy. What we are asking for, give us our representation in every sector of life. Judiciary, executive, legislature, education. In every sector, we should get. Then, of course, the Mandal Commission came into existence. The whole country was divided on the Mandal Commission. All universities and colleges were closed, saying that we do not want Mandal Commission report to be implemented. When did the Mandal Commission give a report? Mandal was the Chief Minister of Bihar. He gave a remarkable report. For 30 years, no one wants to look at that report. Then later, when VP Singh became the Prime Minister, he opened that Mandal Commission report and that reservation was given, and that also is not implemented completely in the country. I have the whole data about implementation of Mandal Commission. If you take universities into consideration, among the professors, not even 5% are there. After the Mandal Commission came into existence almost 30 years ago, only at the lower rung level, some representation is there. But if you look at, in terms of public sector, banking sector, education, various other sectors, we do not have 27% representation at all. Why? Because many of us have been deprived of quality education in various colleges and universities. We do not even get in. The data is disturbing. Now the government here is talking about 42%. Why 42? Your data says 56.3. 56.3. Where did you arrive at this 42%? Why not we have 56% reservation? So look at the way country was functioning in this country. The Planning Commission doesn't have data. Niti Aayog doesn't have data. Whenever cabinet meets data, they don't have it. What kind of a planning you can go about doing without data? And then came in the concept of creamy layer. That anyone having initially income 1.5 became 2, then 4 lakhs, 6 lakhs, now 8 lakhs. Creamy layer. Even someone is working even at the lower rung level, at a small job in government, they come under the category of creamy layer, and reservations are not there in IITs, IIMs, central universities, because your parent is having around that income. That is not there for other communities, but that is there. So in that kind of a context, it is very, very important for us to look at the various kinds of institutions which are there in this country. The country has to function according to the Constitution. One of the major institutions in this country is the legislature. If you look at our legislatures, do not discuss about representation, education, women, equity, equality, social justice, tribal welfare, rural welfare, SC welfare, backward class welfare. They do not talk about it. So that is where it is very, very important that we need to look at. Everything, we need to look at it from the standpoint of the Constitution itself. And the Constitution has got 395 articles, several schedules are there. The entire spirit of the Constitution is welfare. So in that kind of a context, it's very, very important when institutions like legislature are against us. Judiciary is totally against us. Supreme Court in the last 75 years did not have any kind of a backward class judge or chief justices. Chief justice we didn't have. There have been a scheduled caste chief justice, but then we didn't have a backward class. So when you look at executive, judiciary, legislature, various kinds of sectors, we do not have it. My dear young friends, the kind of a crisis which is going on in India, we have never seen that kind of a crisis. At least I have not seen. This country is not working against total spirit of the Indian Constitution. There are no secular values. There are no democratic values. Secularism and democracy means plurality. They want to establish this nation as a Hindu nation. They want to have Hindutva nation. In the process, they are talking about several kinds of things. I'll come to that a little later. But I think it's important for me to quote what Dr. Ambedkar said. I'm just quoting exactly what Ambedkar said. In this republic, there is no place for democracy. I'm quoting Ambedkar. There is no room for equality. There is no room for liberty. There is no room for fraternity. The Indian village is the very negation of the republic. It is a republic of the touchables, by the touchable, and for the touchables. This is what Ambedkar said. And we know what is happening now in Nagar Karnool district. Someone wants to enter into a temple, they are not even allowed. We are living in 2026. We are talking about the 21st century. Look at the caste oppression which is there of the dominant caste. Several provisions are there. So, I also would like to say the Constitution is made in the name of millions of people of this country. The Constitution is not meant for the rich people of the millionaires. Constitution is meant for the poorest of the poor. That is the spirit of the Indian Constitution. Let me give one more quote of Ambedkar. He said, Indian Constitution is unique, that it designates any kind of a violation is a crime in Indian society. But then, let me just give you some data because we've been talking about. Then before, what is the data we have? The data is very, very disturbing. in this country. How institutions are led by. We are talking about several kinds of institutions which are led by. Let me tell you, both Andhra and Telangana put together, both Telangana and Andhra put together, I have the data for Telangana also, Reddys have ruled terms of office 20 times. They have ruled almost for 50 years. Kammas have ruled for 25 years. Brahmins have ruled for 5 years. Velamas have ruled for 15 years. SC, 2 years only, 2 years, 1 month. BC, 0, both in Telangana and Andhra. That is where Gaud was raising that issue. We say we are 56% of the population. Where is equality? Where is equity? Where is social justice? And then if we continue to keep quiet, don't raise our voice. That's why we are here. That BCs do not have. And then, what is outstanding? A Reddy or a Velama or a Brahmin should become Chief Minister of Telangana only after another 60 years because we are having backlog of 60 years. They do not have the power to lead. And minorities, 0. And then when we look at, even speakers, Reddys have ruled for about 40 years, Kammas have ruled for about 25 years, Brahmins for 20 years, Velamas have become speakers, etc., etc., etc. Then we looked at the entire economy of the state. Entire economy of the state, because we are talking about social justice. If you look at all the builders, I will only give you 10. I will give you 100. I don't have the time. All the builders, Indo-industry builders are Reddy. IVRCL, Reddy. Lanco, Kamma. Ramki, Reddy. Janapriya, Reddy. Maitas, Raju. Prajasai, Reddy. MNR, Reddy. My Home Tycoon, Velama. Ashoka Builders, Reddy. Modi Builders, Marwadi. Gayatri Constructions, Reddy. Entire real estate is in their control. I have 100 lists, but I don't have the time to give. All of them will tell me one OBC builder. Why not? Are we not capable? Don't we have the leadership to do it? We do not. That is why. Top ranking industries. SRL Raju, GMR, Vaishya Committee, Lanco Kamma, Reddy Labs Reddy, Matrix Kamma, GVK Reddy, Arabindo Reddy, Andhra Sugars Kamma, Wipro Labs Reddy, Hertodax Reddy, Davies Reddy, Shantabayatak Reddy. Cement industries, entire cement industries all over Telangana are controlled by Kammas and Reddys. Tell me one cement industry which is in our control. Cement industries are with them, real estate is with them, etc., etc. Educational institutions, I don't have to talk about. Narayana, Balija, Chaitanya, Kamma, Vikas, Kamma, Vignan, Kamma, Mallareddy, Reddy. I do not know whether he went to any school or college at all. Then Geetam Kamma, Nalanda Kamma, Gautam Kamma, Bhashyam Kamma. Tell me one university which is owned by an OBC, one private college, one institution by a backward class. Then look at newspapers. Media. Media is one of the major institutions in a democracy, fourth pillar of democracy. Inadu Kamma, Sakshi Reddy, Andhra Jyoti Kamma, Andhra Bhumi Reddy, Andhra Prabha Kamma, Prajashakti Kuda, Vishal Andhra Kuda Reddy, Deccan Chronicle Reddy, etc., etc. All mainstream newspapers are owned by them. Then look at television. ETV Kamma, TV9 Velama. Earlier it was owned by Kammas and Rajus, now it is under Sakshi Reddy, ABN Andhra Jyoti Kamma, NTV Kamma, Gemini Kamma, TV5 Kamma, Ma TV Kamma Kapu, iNews Raju, Raju Velama, Studio N Kamma, HMTV Velama, Z24, again controlled by them, RTV Kamma, Maha TV Kamma, in cable Kamma, local TV Kamma, Oche TV Kamma, Poye TV Kamma, Pata TV Kamma, Kotta TV Kamma. Why? Who is giving them land? The government is giving them land. Government is giving them resources. I'm a professor of journalism. I've trained thousands and thousands of students. Why don't I own a newspaper? Why don't I? Well, it is not possible. It is not possible. They don't give me land. They don't give me any kind of infrastructure. Political parties are headed by them. TDP is headed by Kammas. CPI, CPM also at one point of time headed by them. TRS is under the control of Velamas. Okay? Whether it is any party, which you take, any political party, I don't have the time to talk about. It's all headed by them. When you even look at, Rajya Sabha membership, it's all under control, etc., etc. Let me look at, the Telangana High Court judges now. There are 4 Brahmins. Reddis are 10. Kammas are 5. 0 Muslim. Kshatriyas are there. Kapus are there. There's 1 backward class in the High Court right now. So look at all these institutions. Lastly, this is the latest data I have. Corporate board directors. Look at nationally. Who are the people who own industries in this country? Tatas, Mukesh Ambani, Neeta Ambani, Anand Mahindra, Kumaramangalam Birla, Samir Jain, Vineet Jain of the Times of India Group, Sunil Bharti Mittal, Anil Agrawal, Subhatra Rai, Gautam Adani. All of you know, Adani is a college dropout. He couldn't even complete his BCom. Shiv Nadir, Ajim Premji, G.M. Rao, Deepak Parekh, Baba Ramdev, or Bogus Baba. All these people, Rahul Bhatia, I have the data for about 100 industries which are owned by them. So when you look at the corporate membership, corporate members, the board, cost-wise distribution of India's corporate members, Brahmins, 6,000 people. Vaishyas, Komatis, 4,000 people. Kshatriyas, 430 people. Others, backward classes, almost 0. Scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, -0. Entire corporates are under control. In that kind of a context, it's very, very important for us to talk about. And as I've said, that India is going through a major crisis. They do not believe in reservation. They do not believe in equality. They want to make this nation a Hindu nation. What is that they are talking about? Please listen to me very carefully. They're talking about one nation, one election. They're talking about one flag. They're talking about one party, one God, one goddess, one religion, one dress, one costume, one food, one caste, one party, one menu, one company, one flag, one society, one voice, one thought, one ideology. This is what they're talking about. Are they talking about diversity? Are they talking about plurality? Are they talking about, India with the heterogeneity? Heterogeneity? Look at, the danger this country is posing. They're talking about, entire functioning of this country is on the basis of violation of the spirit of the Indian Constitution. There are no Muslims in Parliament, particularly in the BJP party. They have not given any kind of a representation. In that kind of a context, my dear friend, I want to wind it up and say what is important is social justice, which is there in the Constitution. Constitution talks about equity and equality. We need to improve our human development index. We are very, very lowest in the world. Hunger index, we are very low in the world. Human rights index, we are very low in the world. Equity, we are low in the country. Even gender index, we are very, very low in this country when you look at, developments, which are taking place in India. So that is where it is important in terms of, these policies have to be implemented. Any kind of a public policy we need to implement, including representation, reservations, have to be implemented on the basis of data and statistics. And what are the challenges we are facing? What is the role ahead? we have to get educated. We have to be aware of what is the Constitution saying. We have to mobilize our own people, our own masses of this country, which is about 90% of India's population are scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, backward classes, and minorities. And women, we should come together, then we should go about. What is my formula? Lastly, it is very, very important that all of us need to do our homework. Homework of trying to understand what is the Constitution says. Homework of where does this country stand for. Homework of where is this country heading to. Homework of why this country is not implementing what is there in the Constitution. Our friends talked about Constitution and constitutional morality. It's very, very important that we need to have that kind of a homework. And we need to work hard. There's absolutely no way. Whether you're talking about Ambedkar, whether you're talking about Jyotirao Phule or Savitribai Phule, they worked very, very hard. They worked very, very hard. We need to do our homework, hard work, and smart work. We have a powerful mind. Human mind is more powerful than the computer. Computer, you have to press a button. Human mind, you don't have to press a button. It's a very powerful mind. It can store any data, analysis, interpretation, statistics, etc., etc. And we have given that right to dissent, right to protest, right to demonstrate, asking for basic rights of the people. So what do I say? Homework, hard work, smart work, as I've said, and networking. In a modern world, we need to do networking to find out what's happening in Bihar. Why was in Bihar reservations were not implemented? Why did it go to Supreme Court? What is the socio-economic survey? Why that data was not out? Even in the current census, all of you should know. I was in Delhi recently. Even in the current census, which the government of India is planning to carry out now, in the second schedule, they are going to find out the caste, not in the first schedule. I hope all of you know. There is no column in the first schedule. Later they will come and find out what is your caste. Why? What kind of a planning you can do? What kind of a budget framework you can have? What kind of a meetings you can have in Niti Aayog? As a professor, basic you need is data, statistics to formulate any kind of a policy. That data did not exist in this country for 80 years, and they continue to see that that data is not going to come forth. So when you look at politics is dominated by them, industry is dominated by them, legislature is dominated by them, judiciary is dominated by them, and what kind of a social justice, which Constitution talks about, when are they going to implement it? Social justice, political justice, economic justice. Constitution talks about these three dimensions. So that is where I think we need to have seminars of this nature, understand the issues. As Ambedkar said, we need to get ourselves organized, we need to agitate, we need to protest, we need to get educated. In that kind of a context, I'm happy that Osmania University has organized this seminar. As Osmania University is one of the major universities in this country. I told the Chief Minister recently, one of the oldest universities in India, Mr. Chief Minister, 1947 when we got freedom, Osmania University is one of them. And that glory of Osmania University has to be preserved. That reputation of Osmania University has to be preserved. That image has to be preserved. And we need to get, quality education for every child. Ultimately, finally, if every child in the country, and particularly in Telangana, irrespective of caste, religion, goes to a good school, good college and university, we will be a major power. We will be a major power. Hoping, I have a dream, hoping that dream will be fulfilled, and we will continue to fight. I'm 75-year-old. Every day I fight. Every day I fight with the system. I several times have been to police station, etc. I've come back, no problem. I'm fighting for a cause which is there in the Indian Constitution. Fighting for a cause of social justice, equity, equality for every child of this country, everyone of this country. Thank you very much.